Live from KBAK TV in Bakersfield, this is Eyewitness News Mornings.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on Eyewitness News on KBAK. I'm Hannah Battah in for Aaron Briscoe.
I'm Aaron Perlman. Here's what's coming up on Eyewitness News Mornings at 4:30. President Trump is looking to make good on his promise to build a wall. Details on his new executive orders.
Plus, an officer-involved shooting leaves one suspect dead. The actions that led to the deadly encounter. We begin with a school alert for the third day in a row. Paiute Mountain School will be closed today due to flooding in the area. Right now, there are no other school alerts, but we will keep you updated with the latest as soon as they come in. And the cleanup continues after our recent storms, and some roads do remain closed this morning. Those roads include Highway 178, parts of Comanche Drive, Edison Road, Tejon Highway, Malaga Road, and Mountain View Road, as well as parts of Panama Road, Garces Highway, and Copus Road. For a full list of the closures, they're on your screen right now, but if you can't see all of those, just head to our website at bakersfieldnow.com. And of course, the weather is contributing to those road closures, but for at least quite some time, there should be a break in that system that was moving through, won't there be, Aaron?
There is a break from any more rainfall, but here's the catch, Hannah. It's just cold. So you get black ice to start forming on these mountain roadways and tons of freezing conditions. Look at this. Pine Mountain Club, 9 degrees, right? 9 degrees. I know, Hannah, you're from Minnesota, so this is like typical for you in the winter. Fraser Park, 11, Tehachapi, 25, Lake Isabella, 29. You got desert areas at below freezing or at the marker, and here in the valley floor running in the 30s to 40s. This is where we're going to go for the valley for today. We'll start in the 30s and we'll end right in the low to mid 50s. Very similar to yesterday. Sure, a lot more sunshine, so it's going to feel a little bit warmer, but the truth is we're going to be hitting right in the mid 50s, exactly what yesterday felt like. Mountain areas, more sunshine as well, except ice cold. 20s by 7 a.m., slowly climbing to the upper 30s by the end of the day. So wear something warm. Everybody, it doesn't matter where you are, keep yourself bundled up today. 27 degrees for the Kern River Valley, ending up near the low 40s when it's all said and done. The next few minutes, we'll take a closer look of the rest of the week's forecast, but now, here's Hannah.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Bakersfield police are now investigating after a deadly officer-involved shooting in East Bakersfield. The incident happened around 7 last night in the area of Pacific and Haley. Police say officers were trying to stop a vehicle with a suspect wanted in connection with an attempted murder. That suspect did not stop, leading police in a pursuit that ended with the suspect crashing his vehicle.
The suspect got out of the car and ran. At one point, one of the officers said the suspect pointed a firearm at him, and then the suspect continued to run. Sometime during the foot pursuit, just a few seconds later, one of the officers fired several rounds at the suspect, striking him. That suspect did go down and was pronounced dead at the scene.
Investigators have not yet released any information on that suspect, but police are still looking for witnesses in any surveillance video that can account for the rounds fired by the officers. No one else was injured in this shooting.
4:33 the time. Happening today, the NAACP will hold a press conference announcing a lawsuit against the Bakersfield Police Department and the city. The suit comes after the arrest of 2 black college students in December. The NAACP posted the incident on Facebook. The students claim police used excessive force and racial profiling in making a wrongful arrest. The 2 young men were stopped by police and say the officers hit them with batons after they refused to show their identification. Both were detained overnight and no charges were filed against them. The NAACP will also be calling for justice on behalf of the students at the City Council meeting tonight at 5. And looking at options to replace the late Jeff Tack on the Bakersfield City Council, well, that's one of the items on tap when the council meets tonight. The City Council needs to fill Ward 5 following Tack's sudden death. The board could choose to hold a special election, but that would cost the city about $100,000. Also on tonight's agenda, an update on the mid-year budget. The City Council meets at 5:15 in City Hall.
Happening today, we'll get a better look at exactly how the county is holding up in these economic times. County supervisors will give the annual State of the County address tonight. You're looking at a previous event where community members joined local government members to talk business, education, and the future of Kern County. Tonight's event starts at 7 o'clock at the Doubletree Hotel. Officials are now investigating what caused a woman's car to plunge into a canal as searchers find the woman dead after more than a day of looking. That woman has now been identified as 69-year-old Faye Ekdahl. As we first told you, crews had been searching for a vehicle spotted going into the canal just east of Coffee Road near the West Side Parkway. Monday night, family had reported Ekdahl missing in a similar looking vehicle. That car was finally pulled from the canal yesterday evening. It's a white Honda CR-V and license plate matched the one reported by the family of missing loved ones. The search started when they saw the tire tracks, first in more shallow sections of the canal, then in what's called a siphon, which is very, very deep in the canal. That was more dangerous for those divers, and big pumps were brought in to pull out as much water as possible. When the diver finally made it far enough in, they spotted the vehicle and saw the victim inside.
This is very, very tragic for everyone involved. The family, up to and including all the personnel, that had to witness something like this. Our hearts go out to the family, and like I said, hopefully we can bring resolve to this case for them.
We will, of course, continue to follow this story and bring you further developments as we receive them.
4:36, the time happening today. President Donald Trump is taking his first concrete step toward building his proposed border wall. A White House official says Trump will take executive action to send federal resources toward constructing the wall on the Mexican border. He'll make the announcement during a visit to the Homeland Security Department this afternoon. The president will also sign a second order that would work to eliminate so-called sanctuary cities. That's where local governments refuse to hand over undocumented immigrants to federal officials. Later tonight, the president sits down with ABC for his first interview since his inauguration. In South Carolina, Governor Nikki Haley will be the next U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee voted yesterday, and only 2 Democrats recorded no votes. Haley will likely be the only member of Trump's inner circle approved this week, along with new CIA Director Mike Pompeo Monday. This is in part because of the party retreats taking place starting today.
Bakersfield police are still looking for a missing at-risk man. 50-year-old Kevin McKinley was last seen Sunday morning on East 11th Street near California Avenue. He has several medical conditions and uses a wheelchair to get around. Kevin, pictured on your screen, is 5'6" and weighs 125 pounds. If you think you've seen him, call Bakersfield Police. We now know the name of a man killed in a crash on Highway 99 last week. The coroner's office says 20-year-old Mark Calvin Matthews was killed after his car crashed with a big rig that happened on the highway at Rosedale Highway last Thursday.
Well, 2 recent incidents on campus are causing Bakersfield College to sound the alarm on security.
All right, here we go.
Why would she do that? It's a horrible sound. BC officials say they are seeing more students buying sound grenades, a new crime prevention tool. It releases an alarm equivalent to an ambulance siren. I think it's a little bit more than that. It's designed to send attackers running. Bakersfield College students were split on whether it would be effective.
Yeah, I would want to carry around, rapists around here, people's like crazy people's around here. So yeah, I definitely would like to have that.
It's a noise. It's not really going to do anything. If the attacker is a professional, it's not really going to do anything.
Well, the sound grenades are made by a company called RoboCop. They say the device has been proven to be 100% effective.
McFarland Middle School is being recognized as a model middle school. 3 state-run organizations named the middle school one of the 11 high-performing schools across the state. That means the students have been demonstrating academic excellence, and the school addresses the needs of students and treats them all equally. Now, McFarland Middle School will be one of the schools to host visitors from around the world who will learn from them and model their schools around it.
Happening today, Brightwood College in Bakersfield is hosting a community health fair. The fair will be from 2 to 5 p.m. today. The fair is free and open to the public, and there will be free prizes and activities for children. Attendees can even get a free health check. Brightwood College is located on Weibel Road. And taking on the White House, Jerry Brown says California is ready to fight Donald Trump. Coming up, we're going to be talking about that story and how his defiant State of the State address could give hope to millions of Californians.
Plus, another battle brewing over President Trump, why his executive order on the Dakota Access Pipeline is now prompting legal action. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You're taking a live look at the Bland Solar and Air Sky Cam. There you can see people are moving. They're out and about today. Last time we took a live look out at the roads, and it wasn't as busy this time of day, but they are already out there and getting ready to go. In the meantime, now let's get a look at your local headlines. With all the water that's fallen on the mountains with these latest storms, the question now becomes, where is it all going to go? The county builds a berm that directs the water down to a series of ponding basins just east of Lamont, but sometimes those basins fill up, and that's exactly what happened this weekend. So the county removed the berm and sent water north along Mountain View Drive to another sump near Weed Patch Highway.
We're not going to stop it. We're not going to be able to contain it. Our goal is to try and get it around the community, keep it moving on its way with minimal damage.
For more information about floodplains and road closures during those winter storms, you can also head to the county's website. And now we're going to take a look at the forecast with Aaron Perlman one more time. Aaron, what can you tell us?
Cold. That's the story. It doesn't matter where you are. It is just cold today as we begin. Live picture coming in from the Bland Solar and Air Sky Cam. And I'll tell you, from that shot, it just should highlight window weather. It looks nice, but it's freezing in spots. Right now, the low for Bakersfield has been 37. I expect us to drop a little bit lower than that. 58 is the average high, and we will be a good 4 degrees, if not 5 degrees, cooler than the average high for today. No record-setting changes, but it's just going to be a cold day. Right now, 40 degrees over at the airport. It feels like 37, though, right now. And as you take a look over at Tehachapi, 23 is the current temperature, and it feels like 23. It's just cold. I watch for these locations in the mountains as we get closer to the sunrise to fall into the teens if you're not already there. And today's highs today will be very similar to what we saw yesterday. Mid-50s for Bakersfield and the South Valley floor, about 54. It is okay to use the fireplace today, slightly below normal highs. So you can use the fireplace, thank goodness for that. Mountains will be in the 30s, the Kern River Valley about 45 degrees. And no matter where you are, bundle up. 2 words you need to know today, bundle up. It's cold. Skies are clear. You look at the Doppler radar, really nothing happening up on the screen. Everything pretty quiet. Satellite highlights just a little bit of fog trying to develop. I don't see fog being the case today. Fog will become an issue later into the week after we see this next front come by. There's one more front that's going to swing through to our north. Take a look at the Futurecast model. As it moves by, it stays to the north, and once it gets closer to Kern County, by late Thursday into Friday, it just fizzles out. Nothing happens with this thing. It meanders away, and because it does, we will likely keep temperatures down each morning into the 30s. Fog returning late Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Because it fizzles out, we're going to see more stability, which will allow for warmer temperatures. By the beginning of next week, we'll be back in the 60s for highs. The mountain areas, no rain for the next 7 days. We are going to be looking at 30s in the forecast for Wednesday. Today, 40s tomorrow, overnight temperatures 20s and 30s, and then the slight warming trend begins next week into Sunday and the rest of your week. Although, if you were to look further ahead, we will do this later on this next hour. We'll get into your 10-day forecast. There is rain returning next week. But for right now, we've got a break. Hannah?
All right. Thank you, Aaron. We'll take what we can get right. The time is 4:46 on your Wednesday morning. Coming up, Coffee for a Cause will tell you how you can grab a cup of joe and help out locals in need. Plus, download our app. Just search Bakersfield now in the App Store or on Google Play.
Good morning, everybody. Live look coming in from the Comprehensive Blood Cancer Center. You know, I meant to say this yesterday, but happy birthday to our executive producer, Malcolm.
I know, it's a belated birthday today, but happy birthday nonetheless.
It is a belated birthday.
He should have been in birthday smiles. He put them together.
Yeah. Brought that up yesterday. All right, well,
Come on.
we're gonna celebrate his birthday all day today.
All right, Malcolm, that one's to you. In the meantime, Governor Jerry Brown is getting ready for a battle between California and the Trump administration. The governor typically uses his State of the State address to reflect on past accomplishments and look ahead to the future. But today, Brown took a more defiant tone and promised to defend state laws on health care, the environment, and immigration.
We may be called to defend those laws, and defend them we will. And let me be clear. We will defend everybody, every man, woman, and child who's come here for a better life and has contributed to the well-being of our state.
Now, as for health care, Governor Brown is vowing to protect the 5 million Californians who now have that coverage under the Affordable Care Act.
Well, this morning, leaders of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe say they will take legal action to stop President Trump's plan to start construction again on the Dakota Access Pipeline. The move comes as thousands of people across the country took to the streets to protest the president's executive actions yesterday. President Trump signed executive actions to speed up the construction of two controversial oil pipelines. Protesters call the pipelines a threat to the environment and the rights of indigenous people. Now, yesterday, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau welcomed President Trump's decision to move ahead with Keystone XL pipeline, which would run from Canada to U.S. refineries on the Gulf Coast.
This is about the responsible approach on growing the economy, creating good jobs for Canadians while we protect the environment.
Well, according to a State Department report on the Keystone Pipeline from 2014, the project brings more than 42,000 temporary jobs to the U.S., but only creates 35 permanent jobs.
Children as young as 10 could testify in court over their parents' custody or visitation rights if a new bill passes. Currently, only children as young as 14 can currently testify in court over which parent they believe should become their guardian. Proponents of the bill say it's aimed at preventing children from ending up with an abusive or neglectful parent. Under the law, children would only testify if they express a desire to do so.
I think we underestimate children sometimes. People always say, oh, they're just kids, they're just kids. Children are very smart and they're very intuitive and they're living in this situation. They know better than anyone what's going on.
A similar bill looking to lower the testifying age to 8 years old failed last year.
A ribbon cutting ceremony is held for a new coffee shop in Bakersfield that is brewing up coffee with a cause. Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Powers has that story.
I jumped out of a two-story building to escape him because he had owned the whole apartment and there was no other way for me to get out without him knowing.
Candace Shepard is a survivor of human trafficking. She escaped 2 years ago.
It's like a milestone when you survive so much and you get to be a part of something. It just putting up a good fight, it's really worth it. It pays off.
Shepard is now going to be a manager at Rescue Grounds Coffee Company. That's now located inside of Bakersfield Memorial Hospital.
We're gonna have teas, smoothies, frappuccinos.
The menu serves up more than coffee and treats. It's fighting for people like Shepard and bringing awareness to human trafficking.
We said, well, how about a coffee shop? And then we thought, well, why not?
Doug Bennett is the founder of Magdalene Hope, a nonprofit that rescues women from human trafficking. He teamed up with Dignity Health to turn his dream into a reality.
This is another weapon that we've released to combat human trafficking.
The shop provides jobs to women coming out of the commercial sex industry.
You know, there's hope that a woman can earn a dignified living doing something else.
And all proceeds go back into helping victims and survivors.
I'm excited to just to spread hope to people.
Stamped on the bottom of each cup sold,
Psalms 82:4.
a reminder
rescue the poor and helpless, deliver them from the grasp of evil people. And that's what we're founding and we're believing for this company to do.
Shepard says that this coffee shop will help show anyone affected by human trafficking that there's hope on the other side.
For me, this means that there's people at the front lines that are saying, hey, we see you, we're here to fight for you.
In Bakersfield, Kristen Powers, Eyewitness News.
All right, there's hope on the other side. Certainly an uplifting story.
Can I just say, I want coffee.
You want coffee?
In fact, Malcolm,
you're on your own.
I'll
I'm good to
coffee.
go. Malcolm's saying no.
He's all, it's your birthday, man. All right, up next in Eyewitness News, top stories and look at that cold forecast. Stick around.
Welcome back, everyone. You're taking a live look out at Fort Lauderdale. As you can tell, we're definitely not on the west coast there because the sun is out and shining. Looks pretty peaceful waters out there. And now let's get a look at some of our top stories today. Starting off, Bakersfield police are now investigating after a deadly officer-involved shooting in East Bakersfield. That incident happened around 7 last night in the area of Pacific and Haley. Police say officers were trying to stop a vehicle with a suspect wanted in connection with an attempted murder. That suspect did not stop, leading police in a pursuit that ended with the suspect crashing his vehicle and an officer opened fire. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are now looking for any witnesses or surveillance video that could account for the rounds fired by officers. The NAACP will hold a press conference announcing a lawsuit against the Bakersfield Police Department and the city. The suit comes after the arrest of 2 black college students in December. The students claim police used excessive force and racial profiling in making a wrongful arrest. The 2 young men were stopped by police and say the officers hit them with batons after they refused to show identification. Both were detained overnight and no charges were filed against them. Looking at options to replace the late Jeff Tack on the Bakersfield City Council, that's one of the items on tap when the council meets tonight. The City Council needs to fill Ward 5 following Tack's sudden death. The board could choose to hold a special election, but that would cost the city about $100,000. Also on tonight's agenda, an update on the mid-year budget. The City Council meets at 5:15 today in City Hall. And now let's get a look at the weather with Aaron Perlman. And Aaron, I hope you have some good news for us.
Well, there's not going to be any rain for the next couple of days. And I think people are kind of tired of the rain for now. It will come back, don't worry. We have a front that's to our northwest. This will actually stay towards the north. It's not going to affect Kern County at all. You look into town, it's nice and clear. There is nothing happening where we are. It is quiet. So because it's quiet, sky's clear, it gets cold quick. Can you use the fireplace? Here's the catch. Right now, we are running in the moderate range is where we're hitting for today. So we'll actually see your air quality, particulate matter at 64, but it is okay to burn. There's no restrictions for this morning into the afternoon. So with all the cold air, thank goodness. I mean, look how cold it gets in Bakersfield. 37 degrees right now. We're in the teens for Bear Valley Springs, 9 and 11 degrees for Pine Mountain Club and Fraser Park. Yikes, that's cold. Here's where we're going to end up. Bakersfield will end up with a high of 54, Taft 52, Arvin 53. Everybody running a few degrees below normal, clear skies, but it's going to feel very cold again tonight. Mountain areas, you guys have temperatures in the low 40s, and look for temperatures tonight back into the 20s. So everywhere you go, bundle up. Freezing temperatures around the neighborhood. When we come back, we'll take a look at your top stories. Eyewitness News Mornings will be back.